Hi, friends. Welcome back to day 10, A Lawyer's Insights from Federal Prison. So, as promised, today I'm going to talk about the hustles that a lot of women have to run while they're in prison. So, I was very, very blessed and fortunate that my parents were capable of always making sure that I had money in my commissary. And, the privilege and the recognition that I have of that is does not go unnoticed. And so I always want to start with that I recognize I'm very honored and privileged to have family that could provide and do that for me. So that meant to have money in my commissary account or in my account meant that I could buy things from commissary. I could pay for email credits because you had to be able to pay to be able to use email. I could pay to use the phone. You're allowed to make 300 minutes of calls a month, but you have to pay for it. So I was able to do that. I was able to pay for and buy the things that I needed, like food and toiletries and crochet, so I could crochet my children, blankets, things like that. But a lot of women end up in prison either for very, very long, extended periods of time. I was in prison with women that had been there 20 years incarceration and had earned their right to be in the camp, right? They started at like maybe a minimum, medium, or then a low, and earned their right to be now at a minimum security camp. But that means that either it's been so long and maybe many of their families don't have the funds to be able to put into their account. In addition to that, a lot of women are in prison because also many of their family members like spouses, siblings, parents also were indicted and had gone to prison. So there was nobody technically on the outside to provide, or maybe one or two, but they didn't have the funds to be able to put significant money into their accounts. So I'll just give examples of some of the hustles that people ran. And it was, I say hustle, but in a good way, right? These were opportunities for women to use the skills that they have to be able to do something for another inmate, let's say. And, the inmate would then pay for those services with commissary, like buying things from commissary. So one example would be there was a physical therapist who would do massages, and all of this was always happening on the weekends or at night when obviously when it was a little safer. And there was nothing wrong with it, right? We were just helping each other out as friends. But so one woman was giving massages to like a foot massage or something, and she had been a physical therapist, right? So that was one. Was able to give, another woman would wash clothes. So laundry will be another episode because it's a really interesting process, but suffice it to say, there were some women that did not want the laundry department to do their laundry or at least their undergarments. And so they would pay, there were specific women who would offer to do laundry of undergarments, so just bras and underwears that were issued by the prison to us, and hand wash them. So that was another hustle. Some women hustled by teaching them. I think I did say like helping people in some sort of studying for like maybe a test or something. Other people would cook items. So if somebody said, hey, I want to eat pizza and I don't want to eat what's in the chow hall, a woman who knew how to cook that very well might cook or make a pizza, and then using the commissary items that the person who had asked her to do it had, and then in return the cook would get items from the commissary. So there were so many hustles that women ran to survive, because when we're put in a situation where either we don't have or we have scarcity, you figure it out. And these women figured out what they were good at or what they could do and had skills at, and then were able to, in essence, it was like a business, right? Marketing to somebody and figuring out a way to get paid for it, and then letting other people know about it. So it was it was sort of interesting to for me to come in and recognize the economy that was happening in prison, and the business deals and the support that women were giving each other, because we did want to support others. So I did get a massage at one point, like to support this woman. There was another woman who actually was able to give manicures and pedicures to the extent that she could. And in her case, she did have somebody on the outside that was able to get her some items, which I won't go into, but also sort of interestingly, through another person that lives in landscaping. But she was able to get like a nail file and other things, and then she would use that to basically help women that were trying to, you know, cut their nails and cut their cuticles and things like that. So just a little bit of insight into what happens when you're in prison, and things that I never knew would happen or could happen. It was a testament, I think, to the power of humanity to just be resilient and figure things out when you don't have any other choice but to figure it out. So thank you. Hopefully you guys are enjoying these and continuing to enjoy them. I'm really sort of remembering all of the moments when I was there and what hit me as different and unique, and I know that others want to hear about, and I really never share these stories. So thank you so much.